And when disaster strikes, highly trained search dogs and their handlers are often the first resource used to find survivors. These dogs, which are part of Phoenix Fire's FEMA team, undergo thousands of hours of training and testing in order to qualify for these critical life-saving assignments.
They're trained to find live human scent in building collapse or earthquake situation.
And there are 28 FEMA search and rescue teams around.
Were rescue dogs at the World Trade Center harmed by the toxic environment at Ground Zero? This could affect some local dogs. We've got that story coming up next only on Fox.
In the days after 9/11, it was the rescue dogs that literally stuck their noses into the debris. Now researchers want to know if those same dogs are suffering lingering health problems as a result.
But more than 3 years after leaving the devastation of Lower Manhattan, it is business as usual for a Valley dog and a Phoenix search and rescue team.
Ready to go to work?
Meet Rio.
Go. Find.
Rio and Captain John Dean are part of Arizona Task Force 1, an urban search and rescue team. This is just a drill. Rio does this several times a week at this Phoenix rubble pile. It looks like hard work, but to Rio, it's just a game.
It's just really a game of hide and seek for them.
Hiding in the rubble, another Phoenix firefighter with Rio's toy.
The thing that we're really looking for is their play drive. They want the toy more than anything in the world. They don't understand the seriousness of it. They're just out to have fun.
I hope I live. I hope I live. It's coming down on me.
September 11th, 2001, the beginning of a national nightmare. New York's Twin Towers are destroyed. And just hours later, dog search and rescue teams are there looking for survivors. Rio and John Dean are among them. And it's anything but fun.
They reflect our feelings and our moods.
A difficult experience for both man and dog because there were no survivors to find.
If you're having a bad day, they're having a bad day. And it's just as simple as that. There's no big secret to it. You know, all these dogs are so driven, you have to be the brake. They'll give and give until they've gone too far.
This is Kinsey. He's also a rescue dog who worked on what they called the pile on 9/11.
I remember walking around the corner and seeing it, and the first thought I had was my dog's going to die. It scared me to death.
Bob Deed's dog from a Texas FEMA team is one of 17 taking part in a study sponsored by IMES. Researchers at North Carolina State's Veterinary Teaching Hospital want to find out if dogs who worked on 9/11 have any lingering health effects.
Is it okay if I take a look at you, good girl? We are looking for changes in the nasal passages of these dogs that may indicate early signs of chronic inflammation or certain types of other diseases such as cancer.
After an MRI of her respiratory system, Kinsey gets a clean bill of health.
She's doing great, yeah, absolutely. Nice and normal.
Which is a relief to everyone.
The bond that we have is just, it's not like your regular pet. It's through the roof. And in fact, my wife jokes sometimes that this is my second wife.
Although not taking part in the study, Rio is checked regularly by a vet who is part of the Phoenix Search and Rescue Unit.
She gives them annual physicals. They even get the echocardiograms, blood work, just on an annual basis.
And 8-year-old Rio shows no ill effects from his experience in New York.
So far, he hasn't even slowed down a bit.
Because every time they go into action, steps are taken to make sure everyone is safe. They don't go anywhere without a team that includes structural engineers, medics, and hazardous materials specialists.
So they're out there with the meters checking the air before I send the dog out.
Back out on the Phoenix rubble pile, Rio finds his quarry.
When you hear that, there is nothing better. That means he's done his job.
A volunteer firefighter is freed from his hole, and playtime begins.
And then as a handler, we try to stay out of it. All the interaction comes from the victim.
And even after he's eventually replaced by younger pups now on their way up, this is one urban rescue team that will be together for years to come.
I enjoy it. I like the relationship with the dogs. That's my buy-in for this. I don't think there's many times I'm not with him. I spend more time with him than I do with my wife, and I think he and my wife like that.
There is a bond there. So far, all 17 dogs taking part in the IMES study have been cleared of any health problems, but they plan to keep tracking them. As for Rio, John Dean says his dog still has good years in him, even after retirement. He says Rio will always be part of his family.